What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Club and Country. It's episode number 22. And we start today's episode off with some of the most frustrating emails you can receive in FIFA career mode. Youth player unsettled. Yes, no one likes to see it, as you have to give our youth players some pro deals here. Obviously we've got a great academy. There are loads of players who have like mid-80 potential ranges, so we know these guys are going to have a decent future in time. But I don't know what it is, I just can't stand having my hand forced. Do you know what I mean? Like if they wait, I'll give them a pro deal, but it's so frustrating knowing that at times I just have to do it in case I possibly leave them. And also a brief look at the league table once again, as we ended the last episode at halfway point. As you can see, currently 4 points clear of Leipzig in 7th as we sit in the top 4 right now. So we are currently in a European place and a Champions League place at that. But there is, of course, still a whole half of the season left to go. So as we close out the calendar year, take a look at the top scorer, assist and clean sheets charts. As I mentioned in the last episode, Thomas Müller still leading the race for the Golden Boot. But Ransford Yeboah only 3 behind. Manuel Neuer leading the race for the Golden Glove right now. But Sasha Hübner has 6 clean sheets this season in his debut in the Bundesliga. Not too bad from our number 1. And we also have a scouting update and an academy update as we enter the January transfer window, as January arrives as well. And we take a look at our boys in the academy left over after lots of them got pro deals here. Just 4 players left here. Dietrich looks pretty decent, 53 overall, holding a bit of 83 to 89 potential. But I don't know if you guys are the same as me, but when a player's got like really low overall in the academy, I keep on thinking, if you don't kick on, you are not going to make it. I am not going to be training someone up from like 45 overall or whatever they are. But regardless, I also changed the position of Julian Gattal as well. Of course, he went from left mid to right mid. Like I mentioned in the last episode, it doesn't really matter because the development plans are still the exact same. But as he always plays on the right and not on the left-hand side as we operate with inside forwards here, I wanted to get it done. Get into wide midfielder development plan now as well. That'll improve his stamina and also give him a high attacking work rate as well. As I mentioned in the last episode, he's been like one of the unsung heroes, one of the unsung heroes, one of the unlikely emerging heroes this season. I've been so impressed with Gattal, man. He scored 6 goals in the Bundesliga in 17 games. He's been amazing, man. It's such a surprise as well because, you know, out of all the players in our first 11, I did not think it would be him that was going to make one of the biggest impacts on our season, be one of the main reasons why we're in the top 4. He's won us points single-handedly. He's got us late levelers and late winners. He's done some really, really important things. Got a couple of nice goals as well. He's been surprisingly good in the first half of the season. Regardless, as January will come around again, £8 million in the budget. After the winter break, the long winter break, we return here in late January with the first game of the second half of the campaign at home to Union Berlin in Dresden. So this was going to be looking like a banker here against the side that came up via the playoff last season in the 2 Liga. And heading into the game 16 minutes in, well, it's goal number 7 for our number 19. And as I just mentioned him a moment ago there, he's the unlikely emerging hero in this Dresden team. 7 goals for Julian Gattal. I cannot get over how good he's been this season. So 1-0 to Dresden, but right before the break in a game which I thought would be a walkover, Union Berlin would find their leveller right before half-time. I was thinking, my goodness, if we want to finish in the top 4, if we want to stay in the top 4, these are the games at home against sides that are struggling. We cannot drop points in. So in the second half, I was very, very aggressive indeed, very attack-minded. 10 minutes after the restart, find ourselves to get back in front here through Finn Ole Becker scoring his 3rd goal in the season, and I think his 2nd goal in 3 or 4 games. So Dresden 2, Union Berlin 1, and then 20 minutes after the restart, would then make it 3-1 as well. What a ball from Marvin Schaefer. Just rejected that bid from Daniel Levy. Spurs, he's going nowhere. I love Schaefer. That ball, absolutely superb. And, you know, I brought the guy in as a defensive midfielder, but as you see, it's a carbon copy. Maybe not quite as nice of an assist as the earlier goal, but once again, Marvin to Ransford. He gets assists on a consistent basis, Marvin Schaefer, and as the DM in this team, you know, when you look at our team, we're a high-powered offensive team. You've got a go on the left, Gattal on the right, Becker pushed up a little bit in the asymmetrical midfield role, Simon, then Ransford Yeboah and either Daphne or Gadikli. That's 6 players operating and going forward. Yeah, it's crazy to say this, but Schaefer is one of the most creative, and he's the one that sits furthest back. So 2 assists there in what was a 4-1 win as we really turned it on in the second half, and against Freiburg in the second and final game of January here, took the lead through Ransford Yeboah, getting his 3rd goal in 2 games with 17 minutes to go, holding on to a 1-0 lead. I was a little bit nervy in this game, didn't have my foot on the gas pedal, wasn't being assertive as I probably should have been Freiburg found their level with quarter an hour on the clock, and unfortunately, this was the slip-up I was talking about. Can't have many of these if we are to finish in the top 4. 1-1 the final score there, and again, just wasn't my attack-minded self in that game. Don't know why. After I got the first goal, I kind of eased off a little bit. Shouldn't really ever be doing that. Poor from me. Should have won that game. Threw away 2 vital points. But regardless, transfer deadline day and the January window in total would come and go ridiculously quickly. It was just such a quick window. We had nothing doing at all. I was going to say nothing of note, but nothing doing at all in the January window. Obviously, we loaned out one of our youth players, Horn, to CFR Cluj, but other than that, literally nothing. Just decided to just blast through the window just like that. You see the top deals here: Jose Gaia to Barca for 76.4 mil, Andre Silva to Inter, and Alessio Romagnoli leaving Bayern, who are certain to be champions, and going away from the Allianz there. But yeah, it was a crazy quick January. I had no plans to do anything anyway, because right now, why would I change things? I know we just drew there against Freiburg, but we've only lost 2 times all season long. One of those losses was against Bayern Munich, the other one against Mönchengladbach, I believe. You know, we're in the top 4 right now. No need to make major changes to this team whatsoever. At the moment, we're developing, we're growing all the time. As you'll see in just a moment's time, yes, we are still a 3.5-star team, but we're knocking on the door of becoming a 4-star team. Pretty sure we will come the end of the season. We're almost there. We've got 2 players that are now 81 in Ransford Yeboah and Albert Simon as well. We've got one of the top scorers in the league in our number 35. Our defense has definitely picked up, or so I'd like to think. So at the moment, yeah, don't need to make changes to this team whatsoever. At the moment, we're high flying. We're chasing after 4th. We've just got past the halfway point, but I know it's going to be tough to maintain this Champions League challenge. And for the 3rd game of today's episode, first one outside the January window here, Hertha Berlin away at the Olympiastadion. Massive game here with Hertha also right now in the top 4 and chasing a Champions League place. We beat them in a thriller in the reverse fixture where Ransford Yeboah scored a hat-trick and a stoppage time winner, and 17 minutes in, we had the lead in the Olympiastadion for you-know-who. The club captain, Ransford Yeboah, making it 1-0 and give us the lead. And I was thinking, if we can win this game and get back on track here, this will be massive in our pursuit of top 4 football. Unfortunately, 8 minutes before the break, Hertha would find their leveller and make it 1-1 as they got back on level terms. Then after the restart here, just past the hour mark, aiming to get in front for the first time. This was such a frustrating goal to concede here because I just could not get the ball clear. You know when you're literally playing some pretty decent defence, you're jockeying, you're getting a couple of tackles in, but you just can't seem to get the ball off the opponent. I made 2 or possibly 3 tackles there that ricocheted right back to Hertha. A little bit of rubber to green there going to our host, but that's just football, that's just FIFA sometimes. Luck will balance itself out, as we know. Just couldn't get the ball clear. Hertha go in front as they come from behind to lead, and there were 2 minutes to go. Danny Ings, who scored in a reverse fixture, plays a lovely through ball to Dembele, and this was just glorious. Nothing lucky about this goal at all. Absolutely glorious from Hertha's number 13. See Sasha come off his line to close him down. Dinks it over him. Perfect technique as he weights it in to the bottom corner. Final score, Hertha 3, Dresden 1. And a big defeat there away at the Olympiastadion in Berlin. So really tough loss there. Just 1 point picked up from a possible 6. That is not the form that's going to get us into the top 4. And a big blow there against one of the sides right by us in the table right now. But again, this is just how difficult it's meant to be. Like, if we're going to qualify for the Champions League, I want this challenge. I want these tough games like this, because yes, they can be frustrating. And the second goal, seriously, like, I was gripping the controller so much there, I thought I was going to snap it in half. But you know, it's kind of good to have these kind of games which are like very frustrating, very tough, very challenging, because it means that come the end of the season, if we do finish in the top 4, if we do finish in the Europa League, and touch wood, fingers crossed, we won't finish outside the top 6, we'll look back on those games and know just how tough it was to finish in a European place. So on the back of the loss there and 1 point from 6, we have dropped to 6th ourselves. We're only in the Europa League places right now ahead of RB Leipzig on goal difference as they sit in 7th place. So heading into the game against Frankfurt, right now sitting in 4th place. This needed to be a win here in Dresden. If we're to have any chance of finishing in the Champions League, this had to be a big 3 points and a return to winning ways here. So right from the very first whistle, I was in attack mode. Could not play conservative in this one. Had to make sure I got some goals on the board and some early ones as well. And just 9 minutes in, Ransford Yeboah extends his scoring streak, makes it 1-0 and gives us the lead. And then 28 minutes in, oh, Mark Bartra, absolutely done in by Ransford Yeboah there. Is that Gareth Bale in disguise in that Copa Copa del Rey final all those years ago? Not entirely sure. Maybe it's a little bit of a weak comparison there. But he left Marta Bartra in the bus. The Spaniard watched him go straight past, and Ramsey Dubal dinks it in to the back of the net to make it 2-0. So Frankfurt needed to respond, and they would. Right before the break, Malik makes it 2-1 and gets them back in the game and half the deficit. But 5 minutes after the restart, still leading by 1. I needed to make sure we'd win this game. And 6 minutes after the restart, I know it's a little bit cheap. I know I don't do it too often, but every now and then, when I'm feeling a bit of pressure, I just need to release some. Yes, a little cutback goal there as Ransford gives up the hat-trick for Gadikli to get the goal. 3-1 the final score. We leapfrog Frankfurt and go back into the top 4. I think Hertha Berlin and Leverkusen can now pull away if they want to. Bayern are going to win the title, but Hertha and Bayern can cement Champions League football if they want. But for us, and the race for 4th right now, as we've just about got into it, I think there's just a few points separating 5 teams in the race for European football. It is so tight. But that will end this episode of Club and Country, guys. So big thank you for watching. Hope you have enjoyed it, and if you have, then please do drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode of Club and Country very soon.